Okay, number 20. You Only Live Twice. Yeah, he's surprised. I'm kind of surprised at that one too. My problem with that movie is there's way too much focus on the Japanese culture, which I get was in the book, but it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of the plot. And I got the feeling Sean Connery didn't want to be there.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, 4 Bond movies in 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd get tired.
I would be drained.
I'd be drained.
Even though it's the blessing of a lifetime. Screw you for Daniel Craig for saying that. Oh, it's too much of a burden to have a fitness coach. But whatever. That's for another episode.
Yeah,
that's for a whole other episode where I just don't even want to dive into it because that irritates the out of me.
So
Go ahead.
You Only Live Twice. Basically, it comes to that. There's the Japanese, too much focus on just how Japanese everything is, which, whatever, who cares? And Sean Connery didn't want to be there. And, brilliance of the first 4 James Bond movies, almost flawless, 4 in a row. Almost flawless. And then You Only Live Twice takes a severe dive. So, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that one.
That's not a bad choice. We're on 20?
Yep.
My 20 is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. For the longest time, I had this at the bottom of the list. The very bottom. Underneath Diamonds Are Forever, which I know, kill me, comments below. No! Comments, no! Don't do it! No. But after giving it some very serious thought, I've watched all of them in succession before the premiere of Spectre, which came out.
I did the same.
Yep, we both did it. We both watched each one.
One every day until the premiere.
It was the greatest month and a half of my life.
Yep,
It was
best 24 days ever.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And the second half is a solid Bond film. It's solid. I used to think that the whole thing was just garbage. But after rewatching, going into each movie with an unknown notion, just kind of being, okay, slate clean, watching it for a brand new start. The first half, terrible. It's awful. That happened to the other fella. What is that? What is that? Looking into the camera, it's bullshit. I'm sorry, but it's bullshit to look into the camera and be like, well, this never happened to the other fella. It's just garbage. But the second half is so good, and you got the bobsled chase, you got the ski run. It's golden. And if the whole thing was like the second half, this would be nowhere near the bottom. But that first half is just garbage. And the first half is the whole reason that Austin Powers came to be. The frilly little lace, what is that? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely garbage. It's insane. It's insanity. And I won't have it. And that is why it's at my number 20.
That's fair. Number 19, Quantum of Solace. Now, I used to hate this movie a lot more. I rewatched it, and I liked it a little bit more than I did. The problem with this movie, I think, is it's flawed on a technical level. The rooftop chase scene and the shootout at the opera house, the editing in those scenes is just so fucked. And I'm a film student. I know this shit. It's just messed up. Like, why are you cutting back to this horse chase that no one cares about? Why are you cutting to this opera that no one cares about? Show me what is happening in the movie. Show me the characters I care about. Why? It doesn't make any sense at all. The plot in the movie is whatever. The villain is underwhelming. But the action's pretty solid. But the editing...
The action is really solid.
Yeah.
I mean, that it does have that going for it.
It does.
It really does.
The editing just sucks. And, with how much money is poured into this movie, it's really, unacceptable. It really is for such a high-budget movie. There's no excuse for
It used to be the highest Bond movie that was money was put into.
And it's a shame. There's a really good movie in there somewhere, and the edit just fucked it. It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Number 19 for me, and I'm sorry, Stacy, but The Living Daylights.
Oh,
I put this one at number 19 because really, first few times through, I really, really didn't like Timothy Dalton. I really thought he was just kind of this like, just I'm too tough. But since then, I have read the Bond books that Ian Fleming had wrote, and it's come to my conclusion that Timothy Dalton is the closest, like, truest caption of the books. Like, he has embodied the work that Ian Fleming wrote.
I agree.
More than any other Bond actor. And that's something, that's credit. That's credit to be given, credit's due. But I just felt like this one, it was just, it didn't mesh. I mean, like, half the time, I had no idea what was going on. And I just felt like I was really confused by who I should be hating, who I should be rooting for, other than Bond. And I just felt like it wasn't really, it didn't jive to the point of where, like, okay, like this, I'm not saying like we want to have Blue's Clues, where it's like clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, finale. But I feel like it should be, I felt like it was just more separated than most Bond films. And so that's why I put it at my number 19.
Okay. Number 18. For Your Eyes Only. It's probably like the most average Bond movie ever. I mean, I don't hate anything about it, really. I mean, it's not very good. The Bond villain's very unmemorable. The action's really solid. The ski chase is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But what bothered me was the finale, the fight on top of the monastery. It really didn't do much. Like, just kind of, they got to the top and it was over in like a minute. It was just
Bland.
like, oh yeah, it was very bland. It's probably the blandest Bond movie. I think that's a good word for it. It's not bad, not good. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Number 19? 18. Number 18 for me is Tomorrow Never Dies.
I agree.
And why don't you have it at your number 18?
No, good point.
Basically, 19 through 24, they were easy to rank. They were relatively easy. 1 through 5, 6, relatively easy. Everything else was, it was splitting hairs. It was really tough. But I put this one at the bottom at number 18 because, I mean, yeah, it's cool to have a media mogul, kind of like Donald Trump. But it's just, instead of a real estate mogul, it's a media mogul. But it's like, it's relevant to our times because we're so dependent on the internet and technology. But, so it would be a real threat. But it didn't feel like a Bond film. It felt like something that Matthew McConaughey would do. It felt like something that was just kind of one of those things where it was like, oh yeah, this guy's just trying to take over the whole media thing just so he can have untold riches. And I don't know. To me, it was an average Bond film. Nothing real to grievance about, but I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. And out of all the ones that I have in this middle column, this is kind of where it ranks last.
That's fair. That's very fair. Number 17. Live and Let Die. I know. I was shocked, dude. I didn't expect to rank this one so low. This is my dad's favorite Bond movie. I'm sorry, Dad. Live and Let Die. It's got its moments that are of greatness, but some of the scenes are just kind of boring to me. I don't know. I really like a lot of it. I really do. But there's a few action scenes that just don't, like the car chase at the airport does nothing for me. I don't enjoy it at all.
What, with Mrs. Belch?
Yeah.
And you don't like Mrs. Belch? And saying holy shit and just being all like, oh shit. Yeah, guys. Look what's happening. That doesn't capture your fancy?
Not really. And kind of everything leading up to that was very meh. It was okay. Nothing great. After once the things got going towards the end with the alligator swamp, I loved it. But, and it's got a really cool tone, and it's an interesting movie, but.
Fun fact, I actually went, in my trip to South Dakota, I went to, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's like Animal Farms, something like that. I know that's like an app or something, but it's like called like Crocodile Farms or whatever. And there's actually the crocodile from the 5 crocodiles that are lined up when Bond jumps across them, or the stunt double that jumps across them, one of those crocs
Really?
was in the cage.
That's awesome. You met a star.
I met a star. I met a star of a Bond film.
Very nice.
I didn't shake his or her hand because I didn't want to lose my hand.
You don't want to
be like Chubbs. I didn't want to be like Chubbs.
Or Teehee.
Or Teehee. That's a better analogy. My number 17 is Die Another Day. I know I'm going to get some backlash from this, but to me, going back to the Desmond Llewellyn quote that I had, I felt overwhelmed with the amount of gadgets. Like, it got to the point where it was too ridiculous. Like when Zhao and Bond were on the ice and they were fighting each other with their cars. Like, Bond would spin around, they had rockets ready to go, and Bond would shoot them out of the air, and then he'd spin around, and then Zhao would put his rockets away. Why wouldn't you just go ahead and shoot those fucking rockets? Take them out. I don't understand. And I love the whole, like, hey, father, this is me. You don't know me, but this is me. I liked that concept with it, but I felt like it was kind of a knockoff to Diamonds Are Forever, where there's a big diamond in the sky, big laser, and it takes everything away. I felt like it was just kind of recycling old material.
The whole movie was, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. Madonna, pathetic. The fight scene, though, with Gustav Graves and Bond in his mansion or whatever.
The sword.
Yeah, the sword place, the jousting place. I thought that was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, heart pumped every moment I saw that.
Best scene in the movie.
Yeah, best scene in the movie, and it was really cool. I mean, the cute, coy play, banter with Zhao and Bond, like, oh, I've missed your sparkling personality, and punches them, like, how about that for a punchline? That's cute. I like that. I really like that. I do. But to me, it was just recycling old materials. It wasn't anything new, and it was just kind of a fresh take on old material. And that's why that was number 17.
All right, here we go. Number 16, Spectre. Yeah, I hated the last 4 minutes of this movie. I hated the last 4 minutes. I hated it so much. I fucking hated it. Now, that said, the rest of the movie was pretty solid. Really good action. Really good music overall. I mean, Sam Smith kind of did a shitty job, but like the music, the score, really phenomenal. But man, they underused Dave Bautista. They underused Christoph Waltz. The story was, it could have been better. The movie was both too long and too short at the same time. Yeah. It's a good movie, but it has a lot of problems that it really could have been better. The thing is, the sequel is going to determine the fate of this movie. The sequel does a good job dealing with what happened in Spectre. Spectre will move up. If the sequel does a poor job of handling what happened in Spectre, Spectre's going to go down. And that bothers me, that Spectre relies so much on how good the sequel is going to be. It should stand on its own.
It's very true.
You guys talking about Quantum of Solace?
No, we've already talked about Quantum of Solace.
Son of a bitch, I'm out.
Oh my God.
I might leave that in. That was pretty funny. So, Spectre, it was good. It was better the second time I watched it.
I haven't
But-
even seen that.
But Spectre has its problems, and I can't overlook that ending.
Can you get specifics?
Of the ending?
No, of what it has its problems with. The viewers would like specifics.
I already said all that. My most
Spoiler
specific-
alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Jump to this time code. The problem with Spectre is that whatever her name was, Madeline Swan, I believe, she needed to die. She has to die. If she doesn't die in the opening of the next movie, it's bullshit. So,
yes.
in short, Spectre was good, but it has some severe, severe problems, and I can't overlook them. Sorry. But if you're an average pleb, you might like Spectre a lot more than I did.
Maybe refrain from calling the audience a pleb.
If you haven't played 007 Scene at least 20 times, you're a
Quantum
pleb.
of Solace is 19, you're on 16.
Yeah,
Love it.
We're on our way up.
Okay. Number 16 for me. You Only Live Twice. I put this at number 16 because I want to love this movie. I find that it's very simplistic in the way that Bond has been going ever since the beginning of Bond. I feel that, you know, the jokes, while this is kind of why it's lower, is because the jokes, they were really good, but, you know, they were relying a little too much on the jokes. They had great sexist jokes for 1965. It was great. It was so good. I mean, let's be honest, like, oh, kind of like how Chinese taste alike. Like, oh, you're saying that we're better? Like, no, not just better, just different. Like, I mean, it works. It worked. I mean, back then it worked. Today it wouldn't fly no matter what happened. But it was simple. It was fun. You know, Taki, Tananga, they were all good characters. All good characters. I just felt like it kind of lacked in the ways that it wasn't so Bondish. I mean, first introduction to Blofeld, loved that. Thought that was really genius how they did that. I don't know. I felt like the action kind of lacked.
Little Nelly was really great though.
Little Nelly was phenomenal.
Yep.
Little Nelly was like the coolest thing gadget-wise about that film.
Yep.
But like the whole volcano thing, I loved how the volcano was hidden. I just felt like the whole fight scene in the volcano wasn't up to par. But I mean, you can blame that on lower budget, lower technology, lower everything. I felt like with what they had at the time, it was solid. It was solid for the time, but you know, it really has to be a classic, full-fleshed Bond movie in order to make it to the topper of this list. And I just felt like, you know, it kind of lacked at the end.
That's fair. That's fair. Definitely fair. I mean, I had it lower than that, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.